When the plague came to Norway, there was one farmer who saw her. He ran back to his farm in the Yortsland Valley, and he called together his children. 4 boys and a girl his wife had left behind. Sons, you must stand with me and protect the farm from people at all cost. What about me, father? He turned to the little girl, and he grabbed her by the arm and tossed her into the storehouse. The little girl had never seen her father like this. Why are you doing this? You must stay in the storehouse until the plague is gone. The next morning she could hear her father's voice and her brother's shouting at people. The day after that it was just her brothers, and the day after that she could hear the brother closest to her in age, the youngest, mumbling and singing like he was out of his mind with fever. Where do you go, little bird? Sing to me, sister. And she tried. When it snows, when it snows, can you hear me? Where do you go, little bird, when it snows? But he didn't answer. And after that, she didn't hear any of their voices. And the days turned into weeks, and the weeks turned into a time she could not count within her 4 walls. The storehouse was comfortable enough, warm, and there was a rain barrel that brought water into a trough meant for the animals. She had vegetables in the root cellar and grain for the animals, chickens, and a cow even. But she had no window. The only sunlight came from spaces between the boards high up. And after a while, she couldn't remember what a human voice sounded like. One morning she woke up and she could hear the hummingbird, tz-tz, and then the mockingbird going through his repertoire. I'll sing back to him, she said. Where do you go, little bird? But her heart cracked, and she could sing no more. She woke up one morning to the sound of footsteps, boot steps. The word soldier popped into her mind with an image in her brain. And they came to the door and they threw it open, and the sun was so bright and the space was so wide and wild that she ran screaming from the building and into the woods. They could not track her. The captain called the soldiers together and said, "We must go. We came only for food. We must keep moving." But a soldier told the villagers at the next stop. And they gathered together and decided that they were responsible for that little girl who had survived the plague in the Yortsland Valley. And though it wasn't easy, they tracked her into the woods and they coaxed her like the wild thing she was back to their village. There she was raised by a woman who had always wanted a daughter. And she loved her back to health. And she grew into a woman. That little girl found a husband in her new village, and she brought him back to the Yortsland Valley, to the Stave house where she had survived the plague. And they cleaned, and they cleared, and they planted. And she had children of her own that she held in her arms on that spot where she fancied she could still feel the marks of a desperate father and his love that kept her safe. And she would sing in memory of her brothers. Where do you go, little bird, when it snows, when it snows? Is there something in the wind brings a chill in your heart, and life in your wings? Does it whisper, start again? Do you know? Do you